Tony from Trading Safely, doing a quick update on the euro. First of all, I'm just going to run through these indicators just for everyone's benefit, for anyone that's new that's watching. We use a couple of different indicators, but everything is color coded for time. So right now I've got our bullish and bearish pivots overlaid. So there's a color for each time frame. I might even just add in the weekly time frame while we're here. So yellow is typically weekly, and brown quarterly. Pink is monthly. This bluish color is semi-annual. And where you see orange, that's annual, and that's for any of these indicators that you can see. So typically these bullish and bearish pivots act as support or resistance, but there's also relationships between them that have an impact on what price is doing. For instance, where you get these little white dots, it's happening because it's an indication of volatility, and it happens because this upper bullish weekly pivot moves above the upper bullish or outside the upper bullish monthly pivot. And similarly, where you get these little pink dots here, that's telling you that the monthly bullish pivot's moved above the brown quarterly bullish pivot. So typically when that happens, you can either expect a breakout or a reversal. So the dots are there to indicate that you're in an important timing point where the market can reverse or accelerate. And where you get a confluence of these pivots together, then they can act as powerful supports and resistances. This white dash line here is last year's close, and that's a major support or resistance, depending on which side you're on. We look at the studies below. This one at the bottom is tracking where we closed in relation to each of these bullish and bearish pivots. So where you see this yellow line step up, that's because we closed the week above that bullish pivot. And so right now you see at the end of the Q2, we closed above the quarterly bullish pivot. We closed above the semi-annual pivot, which is right there. It's the same place as the annual. There's the bearish. So we've got basically most timeframes trending up at the moment. Now, with the euro futures, we don't have enough historical data to calculate the annual pivots, but needless to say, if you look at the spot market, we're still in a downtrend for the euro, and that will remain the case while we're sort of trading under the 128 zone. So if we look at it from this perspective and analyse the euro, we've been closing above that monthly bullish. You can see when that pink line popped up to positive there. That means we closed above this level here at the end of the month. And since then, it's been nothing but bullish. And right now, there's still no indication, just from a pivot perspective, there's no indication of any weakness. So at the very minimum, you want to be looking for a close under that lower bearish pivot there. And that currently resides at, let me just grab that level for you. It currently resides at 114,527. So at the very least, you would need to see a weekly bearish close on the Friday. That hasn't happened. So that's one level of analysis. This pivot analysis is telling, well, okay, there's no overstretched relationship right now because all the time frames are inside each other. The weekly is inside the monthly is inside the quarterly is inside the semi-annual. So the market's in equilibrium. However, it is trending up because it keeps closing above various time frame bullish pivots. Now, the second level of analysis that we use, we can see here these little dashes. They're the previous period's time frame close. So that was last quarter's. That was the previous quarter's close, and this quarter's close is up here. So the previous quarter's close is here. So that's two quarters ago. That's last quarter. That pink dash there is also the monthly close, which is currently corresponding with the quarterly close. So while we're above the quarterly close and the monthly close, by definition, the market is immediately bullish. So that's another thing to bear in mind. Now, one of the other studies we use is support and resistance across time, which I will add now. And each of the colors, once again, is reflecting time. So green's daily, weekly is weekly is yellow, pink is monthly. Now, when a market moves inside, I might just take the daily off at the moment just to reduce the noise. Okay, but typically what we see is where a market moves inside one of these, for instance, if we move inside this yellow level here, then the market wants to seek out the opposite yellow. Where we move inside, price moves inside the monthly, at some stage, it's going to want to try and reach the opposite monthly level. In this instance here, where price actually moved inside the quarterly level down here, it's going to want to seek out the opposite level, which is what it's done now. So right now, this market is strong. Why do I say that? It's because we're above this closing quarterly resistance, we're above this weekly resistance, and we're above this monthly resistance. Now, what we need to see some sort of weakness is this yellow line move above price. Okay, that just hasn't happened yet. So until that happens, there's just no point selling it because it can continue to go higher. And it's the same with this monthly level. This monthly level at some stage will come over and tell you there's an even more important high in place. Now that hasn't happened. So we've not had any outright buy signals since down here. We've had, so these black dots are buy signals. These little green dots are bullish warnings. Yellow dots are weekly sell signals. So look, we've got a weekly sell signal building, but I'm just not buying into it because we don't have any confirmation from a closing resistance basis. So for me, it's still risky to the upside. So be careful there if you are short, and make sure you've got a well-placed stop. In terms of upside levels, we kind of keep touching on them, but the immediate one is, well, first of all, let's just talk big picture. The big picture resistance levels is all the way up here, 129. That's the equal and opposite annual closing resistance. So the market will want to tend to go to that. Now, what's in the way to stop it is a couple of levels. So first of all, we've got this 116.3 to 117.18. That is a very heavy zone there. The market should have some sort of reaction at that point. Now that happens to correspond with, if we add back those pivots we were talking about earlier, okay, we've got both the monthly bullish and the quarterly bullish also lying within that zone. So we've got an incredibly powerful resistance zone right here. And any sell signals followed by this weekly level moving above price will probably be an actionable trade. But until then, there's no way I'm getting short right here because there's just not enough evidence. So I hope that helps.